welcome back to another vlog. This is Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Season 2, Episode 18, Crystal Clear and the Hard Way. So we're very much back to Plot Town with these. I enjoyed both a great deal. I am intrigued with the introductions. I mean, it's pretty clear the show is introducing the members of that magic council or board or whatever it's called, and having a focus episode for each of them. And I like that approach. I'm really curious if we're going to get one for Star's mom, though, because that could be interesting. One for the one that can't speak except in goat bleats would also be interesting, especially if they don't subtitle him. There's been some truly great dialogue-less episodes of other shows. And this one had one that was almost without dialogue. The one with Ludo trying to survive in the wild early this season. So it's clearly something that's within their wheelhouse. So that would be cool to see. But this one was focused on Rhombulus, which is a pretty great name for a crystal guy. I think those were rhomboid crystals he was making. I think that's the structure that gives rise to the standard cartoon tetrahedron type of thing, but I don't. It's been more years than I care to admit since high school geoscience, and learning all the different chemical structures that make different rock types and crap. The chemical structures of crap were high school biology. Anyway, no, this was fun. This was good. I liked the suggestion, not even a suggestion, it's explicitly a gay relationship between Rhombulus and the person whose name isn't Baphomet. Lekmet, I think is his name. And it's also a caretaker relationship. You know, a caretaker and a disabled person, which kind of gives me warm fuzzies because that's my parents. Lesbians, one is disabled and the other is her caretaker. Although, you know, as they get older, that kind of converges. But still, it's nice to see that that specific, my parents, as my parents' relationship on television. Let alone seeing a gay relationship on television, which is still too infrequent, seeing that specific one that I immediately recognize is really cool. And they do outright have Rhombulus say that he loves Lekmet. So bravo on that show. As for the actual story of it, this whole thing about the leak and something going wrong with magic, I'm pretty sure is to do with Toffee and his schemes that we see in the next episode. The fact that the swirling green thing is the same color as the magic of the broken other half of the wand is pretty telling. Also, I think we're getting into the later part of the season. So I suspect we're mounting up to Endgame, which presumably will have Toffee as its main villain. Anyway, so yeah, first segment was really good. Second segment, also really cool. I enjoy watching magic training in stories. It can be very boring. Watching someone learn something is not always the most exciting thing, but if done right, it can be really fun to see, like, even a character like Ludo that I mean, at this point, Ludo's pretty sympathetic, even if he is villainous. And so it's fun watching him, like, succeed and then have fun with this new thing he can do. That's really cool. The show kind of laughs at his daddy issues and projecting them onto Glossaric, and that is pretty funny. But at the same time, it also kind of comes into the, Ludo is kind of pathetic. And that makes him more likable, as is often the case with villains. Competent villains we tend not to like very much because they succeed at doing bad stuff. Incompetent villains we can be a little more sympathetic to. Even when they fuck up really badly. I've been assuming for a while that, I mean, obviously that wand is connected to Toffee. The fact that it's made of finger bones and he was missing a finger, that's kind of a giveaway. So I've been kind of assuming that the voice in the wand was Toffee. That wasn't a big reveal. I wasn't expecting him to outright possess Ludo as soon as Ludo accessed dark magic, but, there you go. And I did, I do like this depiction of Glossaric as this completely neutral character. He has no real moral code at all. As he says, he doesn't have a side. He is loyal to whoever owns the book, and the minute the book passes ownership, he is loyal to the new owner. Interestingly, that does kind of imply, because he did obey, it does kind of imply a joint ownership of the book between Star and her mother previously, because he kind of tended to listen to her mother, except when she really pushed him. Whereas with Ludo, he's just like, yeah, whatever. So that's an interesting distinction. But his neutrality, that ends up working out in the favor of the bad guys, as neutrality kind of always does. You can't really be neutral in the face of actual evil. That's pretty much just letting it happen. And then you're helping it. It's not quite like a with us or against us type thing, because it's not about an us and them, it's about actions. When people are doing bad things, you can't just stand by and do nothing. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to directly oppose them. It really depends on what you are good at. But Glossaric, beyond that, Glossaric is actually helping them. Because those are the rules that he follows, which are not moral rules. They're, constraints, program. It almost seems like. But he's still a fun character with that, you know. Instead of this kind of tortured genie, I must obey my current master thing, it's a much more laid back, like, yeah, sure, whatever you say. Here comes the new boss, same as the old boss, which is just really fun. So yeah, good stuff. Looking forward to seeing more. I think that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Patreon for early access to vlogs, Let's Plays, essays, and more. And I will see you all next time. Bye!